So, in the past, let's say 9 months at Coinbase, you've been focusing on getting more big merchants to accept Bitcoin. And that's worked out really, really well. I mean, basically every week you guys have a new announcement, like, oh, we just got this new major company that you probably already used to now they accept Bitcoin. And so that's huge. So is that kind of what you're focused on going forward as well? Like, just let's get more merchants on here?
I would say our strategy has shifted a bit. So for the past 9 months, it's been really important for the credibility of both Bitcoin and Coinbase for us to onboard brand names that people have heard of, right? And that's helped in getting kind of mainstream consumers interested. When they see, oh, Dell is accepting Bitcoin, now I can buy a computer with Dell, or Wikipedia is now accepting Bitcoin for donations, I can donate with Bitcoin on Wikipedia and they're going to get 100% of what I'm giving rather than 98% or something like that. That's helpful. But right now we're at a point where we're spending a lot of time thinking about like what are the use cases where Bitcoin can create new consumer behaviors and kind of use cases that aren't possible for existing infrastructure. So like adding a payment on a traditional e-commerce site, that's something that's been done for since the early days of the internet, right? And it's not anything that can't be done with Bitcoin. But a use case like micropayments and payment, tipping someone 5 cents when you like an article, something like that, that's not possible with existing financial infrastructure, right? Because of the economics associated with the existing infrastructure. So we're spending a lot of time thinking about like what are these really new use cases that Bitcoin enables.
That's awesome. So for micropayments, right, that's specifically for everyone that's watching, it's sending very like 5 cents, 20 cents, maybe even like $1, something really tiny. And then I guess, so the problem with the current payment systems for microtransactions is that like maybe you have to like pay 30 cents to actually send the transaction, right?
So for a merchant to receive a payment with PayPal, for example, or any Visa, MasterCard, whatever it is, there's generally a fixed fee associated with receiving that transaction, generally between 15 and 30 cents. And on top of that, there's another 2 to 3%.
Right.
So for it's not possible for someone on PayPal to receive 5 cents, right?
Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to tip Nick 5 cents because I really like this blog post he wrote.
Right.
But really I'm going to be paying like 30 cents or 40 cents for that 5 cents, which doesn't make any sense.
So that's a consumer behavior that we're really excited about. And there's I've done a lot of research on the history of kind of micropayments online, and it's actually it's something that entrepreneurs have been working on for 20 years. People talk a lot about the original sin of the internet, which was that the revenue model for internet companies is advertising.
Right.
And so people have been trying to solve this and getting consumers to pay directly for content. And there have been a lot of closed loop networks, right, where you had to get dollars onto this network, and then within this closed loop network you could spend really small amounts and tip, but there was a lot of friction in getting onto the network and off the network. And so Bitcoin is the first open network that's interoperable anywhere on the internet, and you can send money anywhere, any amount, frictionlessly, right? And so we're really excited about content creators. Think a new video network that content creators can go on and add a Coinbase tip widget, and when a viewer checks it out, if they like it, they can tip them 5 cents, and that content creator can get paid directly rather than through advertising, which, when you think about the business model for content creators on YouTube, they get millions of views and make hundreds of dollars from advertising.
If that.
So So we think that this is, a really compelling new use case, and it's still in the early days. And we're spending time talking to lots of different networks about integrating. I'm excited about a few that are kind of in later stages of integrating this into their platform. So.
No, I think that's super exciting because, it's kind of funny if you ask someone, oh, if you read this blog post or you watched this video, would you give that person money? And typically, when you think of giving someone money, you're thinking, like $1, $5, $10. Whereas they're not actually used to thinking about it like 5 cents, and you would totally give 5 cents.
Right.
You just you've never had the opportunity to do that, and so you've never considered it.
Right.
So I think it could really catch on. And the other thing is, maybe for everyone watching, there aren't tip buttons on YouTube right now. It's not on every website you go to. And so it is kind of crazy to think that, if you guys made that functionality, wouldn't that be really hard to get everybody to do it? But I think it's important for people to remember that, it wasn't that long ago that share buttons didn't even exist on the internet. That's crazy.
Yep, and the Facebook like is an example we point to, which was created 5 years ago, 7 years ago. That's now widely used, and all the Facebook like is an expression of value, right? When you like an article or like your friend's post on Facebook, you're communicating an expression of value that you appreciated that, and Bitcoin is a new expression of value, and it's interoperable, as I said, anywhere on the internet. So I view this as a progression of a Facebook like or a Twitter share.
It's probably even more meaningful too, because I can just kind of go click like on everything, and there's not much impact on me.
Yep.
But if there's even a really tiny amount, really small amount of Bitcoin associated with that, then I'm probably going to think about it's going to be more meaningful to me when I click like.
That's right.
So I think it'll happen. I think that's super cool that you guys are thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think the reality is that we're still in the early days, right? And Bitcoin is the first open payment network that any developer who has an idea about a financial services related company can build on top of. And Coinbase, I mentioned the merchant and the consumer side, but we also are very focused on the developer side, and we have a robust API that makes Bitcoin easy to use for developers. We have over 5,000 developers building applications on top of the platform. So we think that a lot of this innovation and the new consumer behaviors are going to be created by the community, and we're part of the community, so we're thinking about this, but we want to be kind of the infrastructure that makes Bitcoin apps possible, basically.
Yeah, I think that Coinbase, started 2 years ago-ish, and a couple other companies are out there that have been, they're starting to raise capital, they're starting to grow their teams, they're starting to do cool things. But right now, to move to the next level, we probably need more developers, building more things so that they can make things that none of us can think of, and then we can just use them. So that's really cool that you guys are pushing the API and encouraging developers to do that. So when you talk to the merchants, you're obviously the main point is probably, yes, we can help you accept Bitcoin, and people can buy stuff for Bitcoin, and you'll make more money, and this is great for everyone. You'll attract the younger male audience that has money. But is there any conversation to Bitcoin as a protocol?
Absolutely, and I think that particularly for people that are new to the concept of Bitcoin, that's kind of one of the biggest misunderstandings, I would say. People that aren't able to differentiate between Bitcoin, the digital currency, and Bitcoin, the protocol and payment network. And what we tell merchants is you can use the protocol and the payment network to receive payments more efficiently without worrying about the digital currency. And in the 5+ years of Bitcoin, the media has generally focused on the digital currency, right? And the volatility of the currency, its use on Silk Road for buying guns and drugs, right? Things like that. And the service we provide merchants is instantly converting Bitcoin to dollars. So when Overstock receives $1,000 worth of Bitcoin for a TV, we're instantly converting that Bitcoin to dollars and delivering those dollars to Overstock's bank account. So they don't have to worry about the volatility. They don't have to worry about the digital currency. They're just receiving payments more efficiently.
That's awesome. So, thank you so much for sharing your insights on Bitcoin with us, especially because you've been at Coinbase and you're the one that's working on these big deals, to get major companies starting to accept Bitcoin. The number of people that have the perspective you do in the world on Bitcoin is really, really tiny. And so thanks for sharing that with us and everybody watching.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me.
Cool. All right. Bye, guys.